The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. The recommended new customers play just $5, $100 bonus funds. Use promo code SGPN, the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome everyone to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is currently Wednesday morning, October 22nd, around 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm Rose Scott Reichel, once again joined by Rosenberg. Together, we're going to break down the final, most likely final MLB episode that we're going to host for the season. Getting into the World Series player props, we're going to break down some of the favorite markets I know that a lot of you liked. We did earlier in the playoffs with the postseason. Now we have one series left. Dodgers taking on the Blue Jays. I'm joined by Adam. Adam, what's up?
Getting nice comments. Look at that. Out of the gate. Getting really nice comments that people are coming by to say hello. No, it's good. Shout out to George Springer for cashing that 40-1 for me on the Jays to win the AL.
Shout out to Springer, by the way, because on the MLB show I gave out his homer in Game 7. So
that's cool. That's nice.
Not 40-1.
Like, I gave out 40-1 in January for the
just saying
the Jays.
he held both us out.
He did. He did. But I gave that out and I said this for months. I took
40-1 is tremendous. So
they were the same price as the Angels.
I know. Shout out to Ron Washington, right?
Shout out to Ron Washington. Oh, what a bad hire, but we'll figure it out.
That'll franchise a disaster. But anyway,
I think. So not to get off base, but I thought they had Pujols all set. They've been negotiating with Pujols for like 3 months.
Yeah, they kind of went former player route, but on a separate.
He's a former player. They paid him $1 billion.
My point is that it felt like they were interviewing between like 3 or 4 different former players. Who they end up with again? Suzuki,
who's basically, it's like hiring Luke Walton. They first of all, he has no coaching experience. He's just been on every team, and he was an assistant to the GM.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens there. They have talent issues anyway, so I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, that's fine. We like Zach Neto though.
I like Suzuki as a player though, so we'll see what happens. But either way,
he was literally on 16 teams, right?
That is correct. So he's very familiar with the travel of Major League Baseball. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's the Angels news for I'd say MLB. For the World Series, of course, it's going to be starting in a couple days. We have the Blue Jays taking on the Dodgers. And before we actually get into any of our thoughts for the player prop stuff, I want to briefly recap how we've been doing so far with the postseason. So far, pretty good. We're still live in a couple markets. I know that we have Snell, strikeout leader, which does look very promising.
Basically, need him to pitch 2 games. Him being game 1 starter, and if this series goes 5, like he'll pitch 2 games. Because he'll pitch game 4 or 5.
I forgot the exact number that. Right
he's
now,
9 back.
Behind. He's 9 back. Okay, so Snell
he
would
could
still
do
be a
it,
very nice
but
win.
I think I feel very good about it being 2 games. He'll get it.
Yeah, if we end up getting a game 5, then he's got 2 cracks at it in order to actually get to 9 total. So Snell to lead the postseason in strikeouts looks very, very good, which we have. So can't really complain there. But
we also have Vlad 100-1 home run leader.
Yeah, that's the main one.
Which is like a big one that we kind of had as a throwaway. I know that your appetite was more towards some of the chalk at the top, but we both saw it, and a lot of people tailed it, and that one is good. I see Big Fly asking, are we hedging with Ohtani home runs versus Vlad? No. Like, the thing is about postseason things, it's not worth it to it's not really worth it to hedge on this kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think so. I just don't think. I think that it's sort of, these are some of these fun things you just kind of let ride. Obviously, with 100-1 kind of cornering itself down, it's a little bit easier to maneuver. But I just think now that you're in the World Series, the way John Snyder manages, I don't think he's dumb. I don't know if Ohtani's going to get a ton to hit, but I don't know. Ohtani also, keep in mind, before those 3 home runs was like 1 for 50. So we were making a lot of money on his under basis. So, okay. Yeah. Scott's going to bail out. So yeah, I see also, Joe, is there a market for Snell to lead in walks? I mean, good matchup. I mean, we want him to get those Ks, but yeah, here he goes. Oh, now you're on this side of the screen. That's so different. What's that? Talk more.
I was making sure. For some reason, my mic started to change to red, which is not a good sign. So I was trying to let you just keep distracting the people.
Yeah, I was riffing. It's
stuff,
fine.
but
It's
fine.
good. Basically, Ohtani stunk until he hit those 3 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing is Ohtani hit the 3 home runs, and he was kind of invisible besides that. I mean, it's one of the best postseason games of all time. But for the sake of actual overall home runs, Vlad had 2 very, very good series. Like, Vlad is in a great spot. We're not going to hedge. There's really no point. I mean, we're in such a good spot at 100-1. Why bother? I'm not going.
It's the same day. I didn't hedge on that 40-1 with the Jays. It's just sort of like this is it, man. This is what it comes down to. I don't generally hedge. Like unless it's a situation that is like a massive, like we're talking 5-figure payout. But for 4-figure payouts, I just kind of let it ride.
Yeah, just for reference, by the way, right now Vlad is 1 ahead of Ohtani, and
but he had all his home runs in 1 game.
No, I'm saying he's 1 ahead of Ohtani, and he's 2 ahead of Teoscar. So that's the 2 that you have to worry about, so to speak. But no, I think we'll just let it ride. I mean, it depends also how many games you think the series goes, because if you're picking a shorter series, then in theory you have less games you actually need to sweat it out with, and you have less, I'd say, room to get coolered, so to speak, if you end up thinking it goes 5, for example. If it goes 7, then suddenly, you're picking a decent amount of games to work with. But if you think the Dodgers or Toronto, I'll show some respect, if you think the series ends early, then you probably don't want to hedge because you're looking at less games to work with to surpass Vlad, correct?
We had this for the NBA for, what was that? It was our Giannis bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we had Giannis 10-plus rebounds in every game of that first series against Indiana. And that got there anyway, easily. But yes, that series ended early, so we had to sweat out less games. But that's kind of the point, is that we think the Dodgers win the World Series pretty heavily, so we are picking not so many games in the series.
Yeah.
So
in fact, I found a bet that's pretty good that once we're getting ready, we can talk about. So
yeah, I do want to ask you though, anything else you want to recap for the postseason? Vlad 100-1, people have messaged us on Twitter about, so thank you for joining us on the team right there.
Yeah.
Snell strikeouts. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Freeman's still alive on that end. I had done this off thing. I given out Naylor hits leader, which obviously isn't going to get there, but that got really close. Springer for hits leader is
Springer right now is 8 back.
Is 8 back? I thought. Oh,
he's 8 back of Vlad, and Clement is at.
Okay, and like everybody's in there. I mean, he's 8 back of Vlad. Clement. I do like Clement a lot.
So do I.
Wish you could have singles leader market. He had a 13. I mean, he had a ton of total bases. Yeah. It's I mean, I think everything's in a good spot. So it's yeah, I think there's probably some fun stuff with Mookie. It's going to be interesting also because keep in mind that the Jays don't have any lefty starters, so guys like Max Muncy can have huge series, because you don't have to worry about there's no the platooning isn't really going to happen because there isn't a lefty that he's going to see. Yeah. So anyway, that wasn't the case against the Brewers. So
that is true.
So anyway,
also throwing out just for the hell of it, when Lonte and I previewed the actual playoffs, I gave out Dodgers World Series. Not exactly creative, but another thing you might have tailed me on, which so far does look pretty good. Anyway, before we get into any of the player props that we're going to get into, we're going to get into some series leaders, some stuff like that. Before we get into any of that, though, a reminder that you can check out the NBA Gambling Podcast. NBA does tip off this week. One really good game yesterday, and one game involving the Lakers being terrible. But either way, subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast for daily podcast picks. And a reminder, tune into the show wherever you do get your podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. Anyway, so moving on to the player props. I'm going to ask you, Adam, do you want to start off with the actual 1+, 2+ home run stuff or series leader? Where do you want to start?
Let's just go to series leader because it's sort of the same.
Truth is, any of the 1+, 2+ with no under options, the prices are atrocious. So you probably don't want to bet that market anyway.
I mean, we're going to start the bottom. We're really long shot searching, right? Like we're not interested in anybody.
Correct, but for reference, Ohtani 2 home runs in the series is minus 200. Like I'm not betting that, no matter how much I like Ohtani in general.
Just bet plus 260 because if he hits that many home runs in the series, it's probably a short series.
Yeah, correct. Or you could bet him to win World Series MVP. Like there are a couple other ways to get around it, but I'm not interested in the 1 or 2 home runs. Like I'm just going to skip that. So getting into the actual series leaders for the props, we have hits, which we'll start with. Ohtani's the favorite at around plus 260. Vlad's at 425. Springer's at 6-1. Varsho is 6-1. Teoscar's at 7-1. Muncy's at 8-1. Will Smith's at 18-1. Barger's 19-1. Betts is at plus 2,000.
Wait, what did you say? What did you say Varsho was?
Varsho was at 6-1.
What site are you on? Because I
see on DraftKings.
Series leader,
as dumb as odds might sound, I'm reading.
Hold on, no. I have very different odds in front of me. That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, DraftKings has 6-1 on Varsho.
Hold on, my series just went off.
Oh,
I
sorry,
see 35-1. I think you're looking at home runs.
This home runs, yeah, my bad.
There you go.
Right.
Okay,
sorry
let's
about
do
that.
the home runs.
So for home runs, sorry, that makes a lot more sense. For home runs, Ohtani's plus 260. Vlad is at plus 425. Springer's at 6-1. Varsha 6-1. Teoscar 7-1. Muncy 8-1. Will Smith is at around 18-1. Barger is at 19-1. Betts at plus 2,000. Freeman is at 2,000 as well. Pages at 2,000. Edmund at 35-1.
You don't need to.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through everybody.
This is like when someone does a slide presentation and reads the slides. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna stop it. I was gonna stop it at Edmund because, of course, he had a great postseason last year.
It's fine.
But either way,
for the other markets, we'll just do the top 3, and then we can say, but is there anybody at the bottom? Okay.
Yeah. Point is, we mentioned a second ago, Ohtani 2+ home runs is minus 200. He's plus 260 to lead the series in home runs. Any thoughts on who you want to go with here?
I don't. So Muncy's a little. I'd rather bet Muncy for World Series MVP than 8-1 for the home runs. I'd mentioned this, but again, you have to look at the splits. Like I'm not interested in buying Kiki because he's not going to see any lefties, and that's kind of his sweet spot. And I am interested. I don't hate Freddie Freeman at 20-1.
Okay.
But the thing is that home run is such a variance prop.
He did it last year, so
yeah, maybe. I know. I'm not super. I'm more interested in other categories than Joe Dollar's comment. I'm not interested in other categories than betting in the home run one. But if I had to bet any of them, I would say Freddie Freeman. I like a lot on this one.
Yeah, I like Freeman at plus 2,000. I do want to ask you, just in general, when you're looking at the home run total so far in the postseason, I do find it interesting that Springer, who has the same amount of home runs as Teoscar, is a cheaper price.
Yeah,
I think we'd agree
because of history. Also he just hit a home run that won a series.
That's kind of my point, though. Is I thought about Teoscar maybe at 7-1.
He's got awful history against the Jays.
I didn't say that I think he's going to actually lead it, but I just think the price at 7-1 compared to Springer at 6 and compared to Varsha at 6. I feel like Teoscar, with the power that he has, I don't really care much about being a former home run derby champion, but based on power, shouldn't he be a cheaper number than those two guys? Or you think that's fair?
No, I think that's fair. And on that, I prefer Muncy.
Yeah, okay.
I just don't like any of them. It's tough to do it on these. I'd rather bet him game. He's going to be 4 or 5-1 each game. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I like Freeman at plus 2,000. We saw him do it last year, and
he just did it last year, and he's looks good. You know.
Yeah, lefty definitely has some benefits in both ballparks for this one.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if there's anybody else you may be tempted by.
I think let's move to hits. There's not a lot. It's a lot easier to dive into that because we're about to basically cap hits, but because home run is just a variance play. At this point.
Freeman's definitely the value play on the board.
Yeah. But no bet.
Yeah, no bet. Anyway, I'm moving on to the hits prop. The leader in hits, Vlad at 4-1, Freeman at 475, Ohtani at 550, Betts at 650, Springer at 750, Kirk is at 9-1. You have Smith at 11-1, Paz 13-1, Teoscar 13-1, Clement is at 14-1, Edmund at 28-1, Lucas 28-1, and I can kind of skip the other guys. I actually am intrigued by a couple of long shots here. I find it shocking, even though we do like the Dodgers in the series. Why is Clement at 14-1? Clement's like second in hits.
No, I know. I mean, I like Clement too, but it's because he bats low in the order, and he's also, you got to remember, like his splits aren't like the greatest, but I do like Clement. I think the bat him in the order. The reason why he's 14-1 is fair for him, because you got to remember he bats 7th, so he's getting less at bats, and so that's kind of the factor there. But I do like him. I mean, look, I think I'm not big on Varsho. I think Varsho is pretty easy to like kind of pitch around. But I'm tempted to do Clement for this. I have
to bring it up because so far
I like Edmund. I kind of like Tommy Edmund.
I was going to get into Edmund in a second.
Hitter.
But starting with Clement, he is currently 1 hit behind Vlad for leading the entire postseason in hits, and he's at 14-1. Like, I think that price.
He had a couple massive. He had a couple 3
against the Yankees. Yeah. I mean, he also had was it an RBI single in Game 7 against Seattle. So he's a contact hitter. I do like guys who don't strike out, and he's only struck out twice the entire postseason. So I do think Clement is intriguing at that price at 14-1. I'll start off, though, towards the top. I find it weird that Betts is at 650. I am pretty intrigued by Betts as one of the favorites in that market. We know Ohtani does hit a bunch of home runs. He also strikes out a lot. So are you a bit surprised Ohtani's a cheaper price than Betts when they might intentionally walk Ohtani in different at-bats in the series?
Most popular player in the game in the MVP. I'm not surprised that he's the shortest odds.
I feel like if I was going to go for any of the favorites there, I think Betts at 650 could be my only option. Not saying I'd bet it, but I didn't mind Betts at 650.
I'd rather Freeman at plus 475 than Betts.
Okay, I want to hear the case for that.
Well, I like his postseason. I like his postseason pedigree, and I like his batting protection. People forget, like, Betts went through like multiple pretty bad looking old spots. Like Freeman, we've tried to fade all year, and he's been pretty fantastic. So the other thing is that look, we watched it last year. We watched it with that. I think Freeman's got a little bit of a better history against some of these guys. I always am going to prefer a lefty in these situations because I know that it's going to be a righty heavy type of pitching staff that he's going against. So I'd rather Freeman plus 475 because I've seen him do this. But my bets would be, I think I'm going to split a unit between Edmund and Clement.
Yeah, so Clement I was saving. I do want to point out, though, I find Freeman a bit cheap for a guy who so far this postseason has not been very good, if we're being honest. Now, we saw last year he turned it up in the World Series. He had a monster series in general. I mean, Betts is batting near 300 so far.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I get someone's matchup based. I get it. Freeman is batting.
I think you're looking at his average. So like he's got a ton of walks, man. I mean, Freeman also offers like pretty substantial pitch protection because like they have to pitch to Teoscar or you let Freeman on base. He's got 6 walks.
I was going to say Betts is the guy after Ohtani. So if they pitch around Ohtani, you got to pitch to Betts.
Yeah, but they don't pitch. They don't pitch around Ohtani. They haven't had to. He's staying. He's been awful.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I know Milwaukee intentionally walked him a few times, even though I don't know if I agree with it. But either way, point is, Betts would be my personal choice towards the favorites, but I think I'd rather go for the longer shots. Clement at 14-1. I think him being priced larger than Teoscar is pretty funny. And Edmund, I got to go with a 28-1. Just switch hitter. He'll be in the lineup a lot. We know he had a great postseason last year. Yeah. That Edmund price, I think, is a complete bargain at 28-1.
Yeah, I like Edmund. He moves all around the lineup too.
I can't pull because he bats from both sides. So
yeah, I like Edmund a lot.
Yeah, so that was going to be my favorite option based on price the entire time, but I was kind of saving it for last. We both like Edmund for this number at 28-1. So moving on.
I'm going to split. I'm going to do a half a unit on Clement and a half a unit on.
Yeah, I'll do the same
on that.
There you go. Moving on to most RBIs. Do you want to guess who's the leader in this market?
It's probably Vlad.
It is Varsha.
Because
Varsha.
It is. Oh, in the market. I thought you were talking about overall.
No, in the market.
Yeah. No, you know why? Because the Jays don't strike out, and there's guys on base for him all the time.
Yeah, but Varsha's at 4-1. Muncie's at 450.
That makes sense.
Otani's at 550. A reminder that he's batting leadoff. Teoscar's at 6-1. Springer at 10-1. Vlad at 11-1. Freeman 11-1. Smith at 13-1. Barger at 13-1. Kirk at 16-1. Betts at 17. Paz at 17. Edmund at 22. You have Kike at 30. And BA, you can kind of just keep going. If you want to go for any Clement,
none of these guys offer good value versus their MVP price.
I agree. I think that if you're looking at contact hitters who end up leading the series in RBIs, they're probably having a bunch of hits.
Varsho's 30-1 for World Series MVP. Even for that hitting one, Betts is 20-1 for MVP. But that for RBI, for an offensive stat one, I don't think it makes any sense to play anybody in this category. I think it makes much more sense to take
just bet their MVP. Yeah.
Because so if you lead the series in RBIs, you were probably the MVP.
Yes, if you led the series in RBIs and there were a lot of contact hitters on both teams, you probably ended up batting around 300 and you probably had a bunch of hits. So, yes.
And they were probably clutch and they were probably game-winning hits. So.
Yeah, probably. So, I agree with you about potentially skipping over this market to get into the series MVP. But I'll ask you one final market. We've stolen bases if we want to talk about it. Jimenez is favored at 4-1. Otani 425. Springer at 5-1. Straw at 550. Not sure how much he's going to play, but he's at 550. Paz at 7-1. Betts at 850. Vlad is at 19-1. Sure. Teoscar at 19-1.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Edmund at 20-1. Yeah, you have Rojas if you want to get really bold at 25-1. Clement at 30-1. You can kind of just go for some dart throws, but do you think Jimenez should be favored over Otani in this market? I'm kind of surprised Otani's not favored in this market.
I mean, Otani doesn't have any. He has one.
Just kind of wondering because he might get on base with some walks and stuff like that.
They have the same number. And he has Otani has a higher on base percentage.
Yeah, that's kind of I thought Otani.
I don't know. I mean, I saw a market of I'd rather bet Otani to have 2 steals at a lower number than Otani to lead. The thing about the steals is that that's a manufacturer run type of thing.
Yeah,
which usually is going to benefit a team that's down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I imagine. Did you say that the Jimenez was shorter?
I said Jimenez was shorter. He's 25 cents shorter.
Here's why. They're basically the same price. But the reason why his is shorter is because they have such a lower strikeout rate and a higher propensity to be on base that the opportunities are there. He also bats 9th.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily agree with it at all. It's also just not a series. These are both teams that have guys with a good mix of power and contact.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this is going to be a manufacturer. Otani stopped stealing a lot. He was stealing like a madman last year. Yeah. This year he's kind of chilled out on it.
He's also pitching, so people have theorized he's trying to just limit the potential.
The thing that we talked about this before, but the thing about 8 and 9 hitters on stealing bases is that a lot of times the team will be down 5-3 and they'll be on and they'll just let them steal that second base so that they can kind of create a double play situation or something like that, or things like that. There's a lot of reasons why they kind of let them become inherited runners in that situation. So, but I don't want to play this. I think maybe the Glasnow game, I'm interested in playing individual stolen bases. Just the individual stolen, you only need 2 probably to win this category.
Yeah, Otani's at 3-1 to steal 2 bases. So
right.
there you
I'd
go.
rather bet that.
Yeah, I wanted to just quickly look up who actually led the Blue Jays in the regular season at stolen bases, because I'm wondering if there is a case for maybe a pinch runner getting an opportunity to potentially steal a base or 2 in this series.
You would need to make that super long odds for me to want to.
Yeah, it's fair. Right now, Jimenez is the only guy on the entire Blue Jays roster to steal a base in the actual postseason. Springer led the team with 18 in the regular season, so not many, but he's technically the leader of the season by a
I don't think
margin,
he's stealing shit with that.
I don't either, especially with him getting hit by a pitch. So we're going to see what happens, but right now, Jimenez is the only guy on the entire Blue Jays postseason roster to steal a base. As for the Dodgers, you have Ohtani who stole one and Dean who stole one. I think Dean's intriguing, actually, if there's a market for him, but he's more of a defensive replacement guy. But if they bring him in maybe the Terrence Gore role and they just bring him on to steal a base and to play some defense, that could be an option too. I think Dean's intriguing potentially, but as you said, 1 or 2 stolen bases might get the job done. I'm curious what the price would be on Dean. If the price is massive, I might be considered by it, but of course, he doesn't exist on this market for what I'm looking at. So I don't actually have an option, but any thoughts on a pinch runner like Dean and maybe like let's assume like 100 to 1. You don't think there's any option there for 100 to 1?
Yeah, if someone was 100 to 1, I would do it. But
the
thing is this also I don't think that this is going to be that kind of these aren't manufacturer run teams.
I get it, but I'm saying Dean's only role is to be a fast guy that plays center field. I think he could be a pinch runner in there.
Yeah, but the thing is that the likelihood of him being in an opportunity to steal the base if he's a defensive replacement means that the team probably gave up the lead that they had in that inning.
Or the argument is you get a guy on base who's slow, you end up, pinch running him, and then you end up doing some type of double switch, which could be a possibility too.
This sounds way overcomplicated.
It could be. I'm saying I don't see a Dean number, but if you saw a Dean available at a massive price,
let's move on. We have way more stuff to do. We spent way too much time in this category.
That's my dark horse candidate for this one. If you could find odds on Dean. Anyway,
if you can find made up odds on a category we don't like, you should bet it.
Yeah, there you go. But once again, if Dean does lead the series, I'm gonna victory lap. I'll take one, so it's all good.
But let's get to stuff that we do like.
Well, we're gonna go to series MVP now because that's going to be the culmination of the player prop stuff. So for the awards, a reminder: shop around. You can find different prices, of course. So make sure you actually spend some time finding the best number. Ohtani's favorite, obviously, at plus 165. Vlad is at 6 to 1. Springer's at 10 to 1. Freeman is at 13 to 1. You have Teoscar 16 to 1. Betts at 18 to 1. Bichette at plus 2,000.
Where are you seeing this? Where are you seeing these odds?
BetMGM.
Oh, okay. That's why. Okay.
So there you go. You're looking at Bichette at plus 2,000. Snell at plus 2,000. Varsha is 25 to 1. Kirk is at 30 to 1. Muncy 30 to 1. Yamamoto 30 to 1. You have Smith at 35 to 1.
They get the idea.
There you go. So where do you want to start?
I just would rather let's just both say guys who we would like or don't like. Let's talk about I'm not interested. So Varsho is intriguing, but the problem is that he's lefty and he's going to go against at least one lefty. And I think, and the Dodgers have a little bit more of an ability to play those matchups pretty well. Like Varsho's been lifted lots of times, even though he's very, very fast and very good. Mm-hmm. I like Muncy at 35 to 1. Shout out to Weston on Twitter, guy in the cornfields. He actually gave this out a while ago, but I like Muncy. I'll probably put something on Muncy. I like Snell at 18 to 1.
I see 20. That was gonna be my first choice.
I like that. Well, the problem with the Snell thing is that if they sweep, that's definitely dead. But
correct. If it goes 5, he could have 2 monster performances, and if they do win in 5, he might get the win in the closeout game.
Right, exactly. So like that, I do like that. I see people saying I'm cutting us out. No, it's just like guys, we don't have a ton of markets. We don't need to read to you like what's going on. Yeah. Edmund won NLCS last year, but he had a monster series. So I'm not interested in that. Kiki, I'm not interested. Ernie Clement's not winning this. What about Max Scherzer? If you're backing the Jays,
okay.
What do you? Well, tell. I mean,
what are the odds on Scherzer?
100 to 1.
I think I'd rather take Gausman at 66 if I had to go for a Blue Jays pitcher. Because look, Scherzer was good.
I don't even know if I would want Gausman. I think I would probably want Bieber.
That's fine too. The point that I'm trying to make is that, well, Bieber also ended up pitching Game 7, so I don't actually know when he would pitch in the series to start.
He would be 3-7, 3-6.
Okay.
With the
Point
travel.
is, I don't know if I want Scherzer. I get that it's a good story and all, but I also just question how much they're going to let him go. He had one good outing there in that series, but I don't really want to buy in on Scherzer, who was kind of awful for the last month or two before that last outing. So if you want to go for the veteran leadership angle, and maybe he has a couple of relief appearances that are solid, maybe. I thought about going Gausman because he could have a start and he might come out of the bullpen if they're desperate, and maybe he can actually go an inning or two in a Game 7, hypothetically. So Gausman, maybe, but honestly, we think the Dodgers win the series. So I kind of need a bit more for a starter on Toronto, but I like
who do you like on Toronto? I guess my question is, who would you bet on Toronto? I see Joe talking about Kirk, which isn't a bad idea. Who do you like on Toronto that's not Vlad?
I mean, Springer at 10-1's too cheap. I can't take that.
Yeah, I think
I have to ask, because it happened last year with Freeman, who came off injury. Do we want to make a case for Bo at 20-1?
I think that's a great. He led the team in hits this year. He was on pace to be the hitting leader. Do we know he's back?
I have to confirm that, but I know that right now I think he's tracking to be back. But we saw last year Freeman got hurt.
I love it. Like I'll bet that. I like.
Yeah,
that.
according
to
a report, it says Bichette will return for the World Series.
Okay, well then here's what I think we should do. I think that first of all, we don't need, you and I personally don't need Blake at for MVP because we have him for K leader.
Yeah,
so much. we don't need that. Everyone else, you should bet, because I think you and I both agree. We're both giving out Blake Snell as MVP. We are both personally not betting it because we have other liability. I think that the Bo Bichette one is great. And I think Max Muncy is who we should take on the other side.
I mean, Muncy makes a lot of sense because he could have the classic 2-home run, 7 RBI series.
He did it he should have won MVP in their fake World Series.
Yeah. I mean, Muncy we know can hit a couple of very important home runs with guys on base, and that's going to definitely pad the RBI number. So I can get behind that too. Any case for Edman at 35-1 if we're mentioning him for hits later? Because I don't think so. Hits are at 28-1. If he ends up winning MVP, he's probably leading in hits. So I'd rather just take the hits.
I'd rather just leave the hits. Yep.
Anybody else you want to mention for some long shot stuff, or just move on?
No, the Twitter's going to love Addison Barger, and I don't know why.
Barger's at 40 if you're interested, but
I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested in the guy who, I understand he hit a home run before, but like I've been in this guy's deep metrics all year. Like I'm just not interested in this 7 hitter who doesn't really hit home runs.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I want to throw in bets at 18-1 or not. I think 18-1.
Yeah, it sounds like you really are high on bets.
I am. I think bets. The fact that he's batting after Ohtani, I do wonder after the monster game if Toronto, they didn't do it that much against Raleigh. They eventually intentionally walked him a couple of times. I'm wondering if they end up walking Ohtani a time or two and Betts just gets guys on base.
I don't know if they're going to walk guys to start a game.
Well, it wouldn't be in the first inning. I'm saying as the series goes along. But I don't know. I think Betts with the experience at 18-1, I didn't mind that.
No, I don't mind that either. Because I'm not interested in playing a ton of this stuff in the market.
Yeah.
Are you? So you are going to be on Betts more than you'll be on Muncy?
Honestly, no, because I like the price on Muncy more.
Yeah.
I think throwing out some guys that I think can win it that we didn't really talk about. Because we're not going to take Ohtani. We're not going to take Vlad. The prices are too cheap. Like, I understand Ohtani should be the favorite because he's pitching also. I get it. But, I mean, Betts, we know, has been there before. I think Betts, if we're talking about the experience angle, I do think 18-1 makes sense. We think Dodgers win the series. So that's why I'm kind of looking more towards Dodger guys. But I'll throw in Betts at 18-1. But I like Betts at 18. We're not taking Snell at 2,000, but I still like Snell.
What about Yamamoto at 35-1?
Look, I think I'll pass on Yamamoto, but I understand the angle if you want to go for him. But we like Snell as the pitcher that we're choosing. So that's kind of our thoughts, because Snell is going to go 1-4 and maybe 7. Or sorry, 1-5, and then maybe he's going to appear in Game 7. Like
he'll appear in Game
7. They get there.
Yeah.
So
he's also just like he also just has like a monster pedigree in this. Like, he's going to have a lot of innings because of that time that he got taken out early that arguably cost Tampa the series.
Yeah, pretty much. So, once again, we like Snell as our favorite pitching option there. But I also think Bichette deserves a shout at plus 2,000.
Yeah, I'm going to take – where's Bichette? I'm on DK. Is that the best?
The point is, I'm using BetMGM
Wait.
because I'm signed into New Jersey, so I can actually access the lines. I can't get MVP in New York. So
He's not even listed. He's not even listed on DK.
Bichette said he's going to play. So
I know. So if he is, I want to find it. Someone find this for me. Is he on?
I can check FanDuel in New Jersey.
I'm looking on FanDuel right now. Anyway, I like Bichette. I want to do Bichette. I'm gonna do Bichette and I'm gonna do Muncie.
Okay, Bichette, by the way, on FanDuel, 35-1. That we have to take.
Yeah, I'm taking that.
35-1 on FanDuel. So that's going to be my favorite. I'd say dark horse candidate will be.
Well, that's my way of playing, giving myself some Jays liability.
Yeah, but I think 35-1 makes a bunch of sense for a guy who could easily be hits leader. So actually, I want to go back for a second. What is Bichette to lead the series in hits?
I think that's a great. It's probably north of 50-1.
Right? I want to see if he's even listed.
I don't even know he's listed.
Let me just see if he's listed. Bichette. He's not listed on DraftKings. I can check.
Most hits on FanDuel, he is not listed.
Okay. So if he ends up getting listed, we'll talk about it, or we're going to potentially take it. But what's the lowest price you'd want for a Bichette hits leader in the series?
20-1.
Okay. Let me just see if BetMGM has him listed.
I think he's going to be closer to like 40-1.
Yeah. So I don't see him listed there either. So we'll wait and see. Maybe they'll wait for him to be confirmed active. But Bichette hits leader could be an interesting choice. But his MVP at 35-1,
I think that's a
definitely
must
a good price. So
yeah, I am locking this right now for myself. Wait, am I doing this for you too?
I can't bet it on FanDuel. So yeah.
So do you want me to? Is that your way of saying you want me to bet it for you?
Por favor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I just did it.
Everyone
just watched us. Everyone just watched us beer to bet. Okay. Cool. 50 each.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Done.
Those odds are so good at 35.
Those odds are fantastic. So
and if he doesn't play voids, so whatever.
And then I am taking Muncie for both of us, or no? I'm taking this for me.
Sure.
You do want it or no?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
And you're putting 50 on that as well.
We have two guys at 35-1. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a good start.
And I see it in my.
And Toronto once again has a bunch of righties, so Muncie's going to be batting every single game, so that helps. So there you go. All right. Anything else you want to add for the player props portion?
Nope.
All right. So before we get into any of the actual, once again, best bets, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, MLB.ag. Who's bookie?
My bookie.
So you can use the bet on football and everything else. Prop builder second to none. Not as simple. Bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Use crypto for funding your account. If you're getting payouts, and a reminder, use the code SGPN when you sign up for a new account for 100% bet bonus on $500 for new customers. Look at the G promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig, which is the number one prediction market for sports in America. Get some great prices on Novig, available in 30 states. Down the Novig app, get $50 and spend just $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get an extra Novig, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Gamble Podcast. Finished going through our thoughts on multiple player series markets. Time to move on into our best bets. Adam, bit different this time because it's a bunch of long shots for the actual markets. But what is your favorite either value play or best bet for the player series markets?
That Bichette one we found, to be totally honest.
That's what I was going to say. 35-1 on Bichette is just ludicrous. So. Yeah, that's my favorite too, but we'll branch out a little bit more. Anything else you want to mention just for auto bets for you, basically?
Dodgers minus 1.5 games.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the actual series, but Dodgers minus 1.5 games, minus 115, we think is definitely appealing. Which I know goes against Bo, but that's not the point. The point is we wanted value, and there's value on Bichette. So, yeah, I think the Dodgers win the series. I think they win in either 5 or 6. I'll say 6. I'll be generous. I think they'll win in LA, so I'll go with Dodgers in 6. You have any series predictions for the actual series? You got 5.
Dodgers,
you got 6.
Dodgers in 5. The Dodgers aren't going to screw around with their bullpen. The bullpen's never going to see any innings. They got guys on low innings that are going to be monsters. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really want to mention for. Once again, the value plays that we talked about, because we mentioned series leader, we mentioned some markets there. I don't have a price on Dean for stolen bases. That's my fun bit of the World Series. So if you see a line, just let me know so I can potentially, just laugh at the price. But that would be my sleeper option for stolen bases. But yeah, I don't know if I have much. I do want to point out though, Caesars does have a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, and I know last year we had it. We're not taking it this year. Grand Slam in the World Series.
Terrible.
It was like 5-1 last year. Then of course Freeman did it in walk-off fashion in Game 1. And now it's down to plus 250. We are not taking it at plus 250. That is not happening. So we're skipping the Grand Slam in the series. So I wanted to mention that. So if you were wondering, we did not forget about that last year. We are intentionally skipping it because there is no value at all. So that's what I wanted to mention there. Also a really bad price. Any home run 470 feet at 5-1. Are we in the home run derby? Are we in Coors Field, 470 feet? Are you out of your mind?
I looked at it last night too, and I was like, the longest home run, like the Ohtani blast was
Ohtani at the Nuke at 469.
69, yeah.
That's a donation. Like, I'm no chance in hell I'm taking that in the series. So that is not even an option for me. If it was 450, I'd consider it, but 470 and change, I'm not going to take. But I'll mention, if we wanted to go for other stuff, I did think hits leader Edmund was worth a shot at around 28-1, which we talked about. I think that would be a potential long shot as well. I'd go for value. Once again, these are series prices.
I don't know, man. I'm just so much more excited about this Bichette bet.
Same here, but I'm trying to throw in some love to the other stuff we talked about. But
yeah. I mean, so like to run it down for everybody, if you do not have Snell K leader, you want Snell MVP, you want Muncy MVP, you want Bichette MVP. For hits leader, we both like Edmund and we both like Clement. And then everything else is kind of like, man.
Yeah, that's fair. But that kind of sums it all up. I see Joe mentioning no triple at plus 127, which
I don't know. Stuff can get weirded in alley. Doesn't seem like enough value. It doesn't really seem like enough value for.
I agree. I was kind of hoping
that feels like a low price dart.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for more like 175, 2-1 for a price like for a market like that. But yeah, if you want to go for it, be my guest. Anyway, before we actually wrap up the show, I messed up the actual ad read, so I got to do another one. Before we get into the end of the show, a reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. So you play Underdog Pick'em, chance to win 500 times your entry, the high or lower on your favorite player stats, available for different sports as well. New offer for new customers, play just $5, get 100 bonus funds. Use promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, other crushing college football and NFL picks and props, giving away cash prize every week for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type of model that you built, and you can win $1K. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for quarter first month. That Rhythm, once again, promo code SGPN25. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. We went through everything, so we have nothing else to really add. Adam, final baseball episode of the season. I'm going to try not to get emotional. How do you feel? Fun season.
I'm already getting ready to do my previews for next year, man. So
yeah, looking forward to it.
We will be. Here's the hint for everybody. We will be O's fans.
Yeah, we feel like buying low. I know we also like the White Sox. So
we also like the White Sox. Yep.
So either way,
we're going to be on White Sox to win that division. We're going to be on the O's. Probably be on.
We'll figure it out as we go. We got
probably back on the Rangers again. Actually, the Rangers hire was a really good hire for them.
I mean, I like Skip, so I think Skip can work out well with them. So, point is, hopefully you enjoyed the MLB season with us. I know we made a lot of money this season, so hopefully you join us along the way. We're still going to be around for NFL, of course. We've been crushing the NFL, especially Monday Night Football. We've had a couple of Monday Night standalone episodes, which have been just incredible.
Dude, we've been smacking, man. We've
been really good in the NFL. Also, we're going to be doing some miscellaneous stuff. We have the NBA, NHL. We will be diving into other sports too. So just because baseball, for the sake of this show, is gone for the season, we are not going to have a blank space in the programming. We're going to replace it with either NBA or NHL. Like the movie Moneyball, we're going to recreate it in the aggregate. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. Adam, anything else you want to tell the baseball fans?
No, hope you tailed me in January, but let's talk. Let's get some things going on NFL and hockey, and let's close this out. I don't care about the Jays anymore. Now we have a bunch of parlayed futures of Chiefs to win the division and
with
Dodgers,
Dodgers stuff. So yeah,
so
there you go.
let's just get to it. I don't care. I'm sorry that America doesn't want to see this, but we bet on it.
Yep, there you go. Anyway, once again, had fun doing baseball. We're still around for football, and we're also going to be around for NBA and NHL. So check out the Propcast as well, the MLB Gambling Podcast. We're going to have a couple off-season episodes in a few months once free agency picks up and all that stuff. But check out the Propcast if you want other props that we give out in different sports. Till next time.